All right, we are going to move on to a new activity that's divided into 3 parts. We're going to do part 1 today, part 2 on Monday, and part 3 on Tuesday. This activity is about arrays, okay? And if you remember, arrays are ways of showing a visual for multiplication facts. So, looking at this array, okay, letter A, we have a question here. What multiplication fact is shown in this array? Okay, well, if we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we count down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have 8 across, and we have 6 down. So the multiplication fact shown by that particular array, letter A, is 8 times 6. So how do we know how many total squares we have? Well, we could do 8 times 6 if we know right away in our head. We can also count the number of squares that we have. So again, we already started with 8. This would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So there's a total of 48 squares in there, so 8 times 6 should be equal to 48. Is 8 times 6 48? It absolutely is. So what we just created right here was, or what was created for us, is a visual. Okay, a visual allows us to see the actual multiplication fact, okay, laid out for us in front of us. So then we move on to letter B here. And letter B is asking us, what multiplication fact does this show? We're going to use the same strategy. We're going to count across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to count down. We already have them there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So using that strategy, this multiplication fact is showing 5 times 6, or 6 times 5. Either way, it doesn't matter because of the commutative property. We know that 5 times 6 is equal to 6 times 5. So again, we count all of the squares. We've already got 5 here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's equal to 30. Is 5 times 6 30? Yes, it is. Okay, so now we're going to look over here. What multiplication fact does this show? Again, strategy, 3 across and 6 down should be 3 times 6, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 3 times 6 is 18. Now we're going to look at the big picture here because, okay, if you take a look at this array right here, which was 48, and you take a look at these 2 separate arrays, you should notice a connection. Take a look at our answers down here. We had 30 here, and we had 18 here. What is the connection of 30 and 18 to 48? If you add the 2 of them together, you get the answer of 48. Because, my friends, think about it. All that really happened here was this piece right here was just pushed aside. Okay, so sometimes when we break up our multiplication facts into 2 separate facts and then add them together, it helps us to figure out our final answer, especially for friends who may not know or have multiplication facts memorized. If you didn't know 8 times 6 was 48 right off the bat, then this is a good strategy for you. Even if you did know that 8 times 6 was 48, this strategy is an important strategy because it's going to make a connection to us to what is called the distributive property. Okay, so all of this is going to be related to the distributive property. And the root word in there is distribute. When you distribute something, you give it out. Okay, so you're essentially distributing the two arrays in two separate places and then reconnecting them together. All right, so that brings us to our question down here. How does the sum of the two products in example B compare with the product in example A? Well, I just said the sum, okay, of the two products is in B is equal to the sum in A. So you're going to write the sum of the two products in B is equal to A. The sum of the two products in B is equal to A. Now they are asking us to write a number sentence showing how the arrays are related. This is where the distributive property comes into play. Now I'm going to number this down here 1. I'm going to number this 2. Okay, I'm going to number this 3, and I'm going to number this 4. So number 2 is going to be, okay, up here with the distributive property. Write a number sentence showing how the arrays are related. So our number sentence will look something like this. 5 times 6, and I'm going to put it in parentheses, plus 3 times 6 in parentheses is equal to 8 times 6. Okay? And again, we know that 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, so that's 30 right here. And 3 times 6 is 18. Is 30 plus 18 equal to 8 times 6, which is 48? It sure is. Okay, so I'm going to pause there for a few seconds. I want you to make sure that you have all of that labeled. Because again, this is part 1 of 3. We're going to be doing 2 more of these types of activities in the coming days. We're going to be moving on to number 3 in just a minute. All right, so question number 3 says, on the back, show 2 other ways that you might break up the array to show the multiplication fact of 6 times 8. So 5 times 6 and 3 times 6 was one way, okay, to get the same answer up here. Now we need to figure out another way to get the multiplication fact of 6 times 8. Okay, so I'm going to turn over to our blank page here. And again, we had our multiplication fact of 6 times 8, okay, or 8 times 6, because we know that those are interchangeably the same thing due to the commutative property. So now they broke it up for us before by saying 5 times 6 and 3 times 6. So 5 times 6 and 3 times 6 was already taken. Okay. Now I want you to notice that the 6 stayed the same in both cases. Okay. But the other number was the one that was broken up. So the key to understanding how to do this is to make sure that you have one number that's going to stay the same. Okay, so that number that was consistent in this case was 6. And then when you added that 5 and that 3 together, that's where you got the 8. Okay, so we need to come up with another way to show an array that is equal to 6 times 8, but we have an array like we did for letter B with 2 of them. So what are some numbers that we can multiply together that will have a total value? We want that total value to be equal to 48, okay? Just like we had our 30 and our 18 equaling 48. Well, we could do, instead of 5 times 6 and 3 times 6, we could do, what about 4 times 6 and 4 times 6? Would that value be the same? Okay. Could we try 4 times 6 and 4 times 6? Well, we kept one number the same, and then we actually ended up keeping those two numbers, but those two numbers would add up to equal 8. So that would work. What else could we do? Could we do, let's see here, what else times 6 could we do? Times 6 and times 6. What two numbers can you add together to get 8? Well, we did 5 and 3. We did 4 and 4. How about 6 and 2? Could we do 2 times 6 and 6 times 6 to get a total value of 48? Could we do 1 times 6 and 7 times 6? 7 and 1 is 8. 6 and 2 is 8. 3 and 5 is 8. 4 and 4 is 8. So you see there's multiple ways to do it. You have to figure out which way is going to be the easiest for you to understand and the easiest for you to draw. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and go with this one. 4 times 6 and 4 times 6. So if I do that, I'm going to make myself an array here. Okay, and let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need to make another one down here. Okay, so here we have 4 times 6, and then over here we also can do 4 times 6. Same concept, same idea. Okay, so 4 times 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so 4 times 6 is 24 here. It's also going to be 24 over here. Does that equal our total value of 48? Yes, it does. Okay, now it's your turn to take the opportunity to draw an array. It could be 6 times 6 and 2 times 6. It could be 1 times 6 and 7 times 6. Whichever array you decide to draw, the total value of the two of them together have to be equal to 48. So go ahead and take a minute to do that. Okay, now the next question for question number 4 down here at the bottom says, which combination of arrays makes it easier for you to mentally find the product of 6 times 8? This is why I said it's really important to determine the easiest way for you to figure it out. You got to base it on your multiplication facts. If you know your multiplication facts of 5, then breaking it up into 5 times 6 and 3 times 6 might be the easiest for you. If breaking it up into 4 times 6 and 4 times 6 is easier, then go with that method. Okay, if it was this one here, then go with that method. So you're going to take the time, and this is all based on your own understanding and your own thoughts to answer question 4. What combination of arrays makes it easier for you to mentally find the product of 6 times 8? And it is asking you to explain. So whichever method you choose, you need to make sure that you're explaining why that is the easiest method for you. All right, friends, go ahead and finish up.